Hey guys, this is G again. This time, I'll really just be showing how to change a tire using really nothing else than what you'd find in your typical garage. Probably not the most efficient way, but it sure is free, so why not try it and do it, right? I already did it with one tire. Obviously it worked fairly well. We're just going from small tire to a much bigger tire. This is also a go-kart that you guys seen in one of the previous videos, and I'm hoping to make this thing more badass than it already is. We're going to be doing much more work to it, but might as well start with the bigger tires. Alright, so first we got to begin by obviously taking the wheel off itself. Alright, now that the tire's off, I guess the first thing to do is obviously let all the air out of it. Myself personally, I like to take the stem out of the valve, or the core out of the valve stem. Obviously if you don't have a valve core remover, you can just push the core with a screwdriver until all the air is out. And that's all she wrote. Alright, next step is obviously pop the bead. That's probably going to be the hardest part of it all, because if the tire's been on there for a while, that bead is probably pretty much so glued to the rim. So it'll be fairly difficult. Now looking at the rim, you got to make sure that the divot part or the crease part of the rim, so there's a flat part and then there's a part that has a divot here. Make sure you're always working with the tire with the flat part down, with the creased part up. Alright, so I'm going to use pry bar, but really you can use anything you want as long as you can pop the bead, which is separating the bead from the rim itself. Finally, we popped the bead. Alright, it was a rough one, but you got it. So now, the idea really is just to walk around and make sure that the whole bead is sitting right in that crease and that drop off in the rim. Alright, now that that's done, take the screwdriver and make sure one half of the tire, or one side of a tire, is in that drop-off area. So it'll help the tire stretch, and take the other side and pull it over the rim. Now while leaving this screwdriver in one place, just to make sure it doesn't fall back, go ahead and start working your way around with other screwdrivers to pop the rest of the bead all around and over the rim. So again, just make sure that the adjacent side is in that crease, because otherwise your tire will not stretch and you'll never be able to do this. Alright, so typically if you do this, the other side just kind of pops off, but in this case obviously it didn't, so now we got to pop the bead on this side as well. Since I already took the other side off, it should be much easier, but I guess we'll see. Alright, so after all this work, the bead has finally been popped on the other side. So now all we got to do is just work the tire off the rim completely. So once again, we'll have to put one side of the tire in that crease, and then the other one lift over the rim. Right, now the same thing, work the whole thing around. Alright, finally, screw this thing, but it's out. It's out and done. Alright, so now we got our trash tire. Obviously, don't need that anymore. Now, I would say usually you have to clean the lip. Make sure that the lips are nice and clean. You know, gotta make sure that the new rubber seals on it well. Just got some memory cloth, nothing special. Making sure it's clean. Right, now that the rim is all cleaned up, I guess it's about that time to put the new tire on. So once again, make sure that this divot or the crease is facing upwards when we're putting it on. We grab the new tire that's a little bit misshapen, but should be just fine once you inflate it there. Now to make it easier, I would suggest lubing up the rim and the bead, both, just to make sure it goes on the new rim fairly smoothly. Let's do that. Alright, the tire part is lubed up and I think we should be fine. I might not even need to lube up the actual rim. Got plenty of lube on this rubber, alright? Alright, so now the fun part, and that's putting the new tire on. Really doesn't matter which way you put it on as long as the tire is non-directional. The inner bead is in. Now it's time to put on the outer bead. This might get a little bit more difficult, but just the way you took the last one off, putting it on is doing the exact same thing in the reverse order. So once you start pushing it, the idea is, once you get it in, to get that new tire and bead sitting right in that crease. And then you stretch the rest of the bead over the rim. Little lube goes long ways. Alright, the last part of it, obviously, is inflating the tire itself. So put the valve stem core back in there. And I'll get my airline. Now obviously a typical garage might not have an airline like me. So if you're doing with anything that's fills the tires at the smaller or slower rate, so with less of air volume, you can always put a ratcheting strap around the tire, the circumference of a tire, to compress the tire itself, that the sidewalls pop out and seal the against the rim, so you can inflate it with something that inflates at lesser volume. Alright, that's good enough. It's just a go-kart. goes on, and the tire can be put on. And that is really it. So, is it worth it? Well, you did save about 25 bucks, but you know what? For 25 bucks, I think I'd rather take it somewhere and have someone else do it for me. That was a hassle and a pain in the butt. So, that's all there is to it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel because there's going to be a whole lot more work done to this go-kart, including the new engine with a whole lot more power. So, thanks for watching.